Hello everyone, this is the third lecture on organic chemistry, and in this lecture we will discuss a very important topic, that is nomenclature. So first question comes, what is the meaning of the term nomenclature? Nomenclature is basically a term used to assign the names to the compounds. How to give the name to the compounds, that is known as nomenclature. Now the second question comes, why do we need nomenclature? As we know, there are so many organic compounds. Out of all the known compounds, more than 90% compounds are organic compounds. So to differentiate between different compounds, to differentiate between the different structure, as you know, there are isomers in which there are different compounds but they have same molecular formula. So to differentiate between their structures, their properties, we need to give them a separate name. So that's why we need nomenclature. Now, there are two ways in which we can give the names to organic compounds. One is called trivial system or common system, and other is called IUPAC system. So first we will discuss trivial system. What is the meaning of trivial system? Trivial, it is also called common system. So what comes under common system? Actually, in common system or in trivial system, there is no hard and fast rule to give the name to the organic compounds. The name can be given on the different basis. For example, some names are given on the basis of source, means the source from where this organic compound comes. For example, methane. Methane has a common name which is called marsh gas. So why is it called marsh gas? Because it is generally obtained from marsh. So that's why it is also called marsh gas. So it is on the basis of source, or the name can also be given on the basis of properties or their Latin or Greek roots. For example, you have heard of the name of acetic acid. So acetic acid generally comes from a Latin word acetum. Now acetum means vinegar in Latin, and vinegar is the substance in which acetic acid is found. So that's why it is also known as acetic acid. So there is no hard and fast rule. You have to remember the different names, different common names, or you can say the name based on trivial system. So there are different ways of giving the names. So there is no hard and fast rule. So if you talk about alkanes, alkenes and alkynes, means the hydrocarbons, so their names are quite simple. For example, we use the word for methane, we use the word methane, then ethane, propane, butane and so on. Similarly, for alkenes, we also use the word, for example, for ethene, we use the word ethylene. So ethene and ethylene are same. Propene, for propene we can use the word propylene. So this is how we can give the name. So there is no hard and fast rule. You have to remember, if you want to know the names of organic compounds on the basis of trivial system, you have to remember that name. There is no hard and fast rule to determine the name. Similarly, if we talk about the alcohols, so alcohols, for example, if we write CH3OH, so there is one carbon atom. So this group is called methyl group. As you know, one hydrogen less than alkane. So this group is called methyl group. So it is called methyl alcohol. Similarly, if there is ethyl group, it will be called ethyl alcohol, propyl alcohol, butyl alcohol and so on. Similarly, if we talk about aldehydes, so for example, CHC double bond OH. So HCO double bond OH. This is also called formaldehyde. Its common name is formaldehyde. Now you can see here, its common name is formaldehyde. It is an aldehyde. Similarly, if there is CH3 C double bond OH, it is called acetaldehyde. It is called acetaldehyde. So its common name is acetaldehyde. If we talk about this group HC double bond OH, you can see it is a carboxylic acid. We have already discussed functional groups in previous lecture. So it is a carboxylic acid and there is only one carbon atom in this. It is called, like this is called formaldehyde. It is called formic acid. It is called formic acid. Now, if instead of this hydrogen there is CH3, C double bond O, OH. Now there are two carbon atoms. See here, in aldehyde, if there are two carbon atoms, it is called acetaldehyde. In one carbon atom, it is called formaldehyde. If in acid there are only two carbon atoms, so there are two carbon atoms, so it will be called acetic acid. If there is only one carbon atom, it will be called formic acid. So this is how you can give the name to the organic compounds. Now, what about IUPAC name? So first of all, what is the meaning of IUPAC name? IUPAC. IUPAC is the term used for International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So you have to remember the meaning of IUPAC. So it is the name given by IUPAC. So this is called IUPAC system. So IUPAC system has a definite set of rules, and according to IUPAC system, there must be only one name for an organic compound or only one name for a definite structure. Means if structure will change, the name of the compound will also change, even if it has same molecular formula. So for different isomers there will be different names. So if we talk about rules for nomenclature, as I told you, there is a definite set of rules in IUPAC system. So if we talk about what are those rules, there are so many rules and you have to follow each and every of them. But as we know, we are not going to study each and every rule in class 10th because there are so many complicated rules. So we will only discuss the useful ones which will be used in class 10th. So how to write the names according to IUPAC system? So you have to listen to some points. The first point that we are going to discuss is the parts. We will divide a name, a compound, in three parts. One is prefix plus second is word root and third is suffix. Remember these three parts: prefix, word root and suffix. Now suffix are also of two types. Suffix are also of two types. One is primary, so we can say suffix are two types or of two types: primary suffix and then comes secondary suffix. So remember these three parts: prefix, word root and suffix. I will tell you about each of them, what they actually are. So first of all, we will talk about word root. Remember, there must be a word root and a primary suffix in each and every compound. There is no compound in which there is no word root or primary suffix. In every compound there should be a word root and there should be a primary suffix. Now, what is the word root and how do we decide the word root? So word root will give you the number of carbon atoms in the parent chains. So how do we decide the word root? Remember, if there is only one carbon atom, remember, if number of carbon atoms is 1, if there is only one carbon atom, then the word root that we will use for it is meth. If there are two carbon atoms, the word root used is eth. For 3, the word root used is prop. For 4, the word root used is but. For 5, it is pent. For 6, it is hex. For 7, it is hept. For 8, it is oct. For 9, it is non. And for 10, it is dec, and so on. So you can see if there is only one carbon atom. Now I have told you one word, that is parent chain. That is parent chain. Now what is the meaning of parent chain? Parent chain is the longest possible chain, which must contain the functional group. So remember, the longest possible chain of carbon, you have to go straight in a straight chain, and the longest possible chain which contain highest number of carbon atoms and must contain functional group is known as parent chain. We will decide the parent chain when we will discuss some problems based on nomenclature. So I hope you have understood the meaning of parent chain. Now, the number of carbon atoms, if there is one carbon atom, the word root that we will use is meth. For 2eth, you have to remember these names. Now, what about the primary suffix? Meth and eth. What about the primary suffix? So, if we talk about primary suffix will give you about the type of bonds between carbon atoms. Remember, type of bonds between carbon atoms. So, primary suffix. How to give the primary suffix? Remember, if there are only single bonds, between the carbon atoms, there is no double bond between the carbon atoms, then the word that we will use for primary suffix is ane. If there is double bond, for double bond we will use ene, and for triple bond, if there is triple bond, we will use the word ine. So ane, ene and ine. So this is how we give the primary suffix. So you have understood for what we use the word root. We use the word root to decide the number of carbon atoms. So word root will give you the number of carbon atoms, while primary suffix will give you the type of bonding between the carbon atoms. If there is only single bonds, then it will be ane. For double bond, ene, and for triple bond it is ine. Now, what about the secondary suffix? So remember, the secondary suffix will decide functional group. The secondary suffix will decide the functional group. Now, what is the functional group? We know that we have already discussed about the functional group in previous lecture. So, if there is, the functional group is alcohol, the secondary suffix that we will use is OL, that is all. If it is aldehyde, the secondary suffix will be AL. If there is ketone, the secondary suffix will be -one. If there is carboxylic acid, the secondary suffix will be oic acid. So I hope you have understood why we use this secondary suffix. So you have understood for word root is used for the number of carbon atoms. Primary suffix will decide whether there are single bonds or double bonds or triple bonds between carbon atoms, and secondary suffix will decide the functional group. Now, there may or may not be functional group present in the organic compound. So if there is no functional group, we don't need secondary suffix, but there are definitely single, double or triple bonds between the carbon atoms. So if there are single, double or triple bonds, we have to use the primary suffix. It means primary suffix is necessary to use. You can't have a compound without the primary suffix. Similarly, you can't have an organic compound without word root. If there is no word root, it means there is no carbon atom. If there is no carbon atom, it means there is no organic compound. So if you are talking about the organic compounds, there must be the number of carbon atoms, and for that we have word root. So each and every compound will have these two things, word root and primary suffix. So I hope you have understood why do we need word root and primary suffix and secondary suffix. Now, what is the work of prefix here? Now, anything that is not included in the parent chain, neither it is included in the suffix, secondary suffix, it will be called prefix or it will be called substituent group. I have told you about the substituent groups. So, for substituent group, we use the prefix. For example, if there is chlorine, Cl, for this we use the word chloro. For this, we use the word chloro. For bromine, the word used is bromo. Similarly, for iodine, we use the word iodo. For NO2 group, this is called nitro, and so on. There are so many, like CH3. For CH3, we use the word methyl. So prefixes are used for substituent groups. So substituent group, anything that remains after the giving the name, giving the word root, or determining the functional group. So remember, first we will use prefix. Now if there is no substituent group, there won't be any prefix. If there is no substituent group, there is no prefix. If there is no functional group, there is no secondary suffix. But again, word root and primary suffix will always be there. So let's have some examples of organic compounds and how to give them IUPAC names. So let's start with a few formula. For example, if we talk about CH4, you can see here we have only one carbon atom. So one carbon atom. Remember, there is no prefix, so we won't use any prefix. After prefix, we will use word root, then primary suffix, and then secondary suffix. You have to see if there is any prefix, means if there is any substituent group, and you have to see if there is any functional group, only then we will use secondary suffix. Now you can see here word root. So word root will be meth, because there is only one carbon atom. Now after this primary suffix, so there are only single bonds, so it will be ane. So its name is methane. Similarly, CH3 single bond CH3. You can see the carbon chain here, 1, 2. There are 2 carbon atoms, so it will be called eth. The word root, because for 2 carbon atoms, the word root is eth. No prefix, because there is no substituent group. Now after this, we will use primary suffix. There are only single bonds, so it will be ane. So its name is ethane. Similarly, if there is CH3, CH double bond CH2, you can see here. So there are 1, 2, 3. In a chain, there are 3 carbon atoms, and you can see here there is a double bond between first and second carbon. You can count from this side or from this side. So there are double bond. So there is a double bond and single bond. So if there is a double bond, then we will use the primary suffix. What is the primary suffix? That is ane. So you have to remember. But before that, we will decide the word root. So there are 3 carbon atoms. So the word root, that is prop. So word root is prop and suffix is ane. For double bond, it is ane. So its name is ane. Now, if there are 4 carbon atoms, see, if there are 4 carbon atoms, CH3, CH2, CH double bond, CH2. Now, you can see here we have 4 carbon atoms, and there is a double bond between first and second carbon atoms. Now it can also be like this. It can also be like this. CH3, CH double bond, CH and CH3. Now you can see both have same molecular formula. The molecular formula of both the compounds are same. But in this case, there is a double bond between second and third carbon atom. While in this case, there is a double bond between first and second carbon atom. So first rule is the longest chain rule. We have to see the longest possible chain of carbon atoms. So what is the longest possible chain of carbon atoms? 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are 4 carbon atoms in a straight chain. So we have to see the number of carbon atoms, maximum number of carbon atoms in the longest possible chain. So that chain is known as parent chain, as I have told you about it. Now the second rule, you have to see the multiple bonds or functional group. So if there is a functional group, so you have to see functional group. For example, there is carboxylic acid, ketone, aldehyde and alcohol. So first of all, you have to see if there is carboxylic acid, then if there is aldehyde, then ketone, then alcohol. If these groups, these functional groups are not present, then you may go to the double or triple bond. So you have to see if there is a double bond and triple bond in that compound. So now if there is a double bond, you can see here we have a double bond. So we have to count the number of carbon atoms because both have same molecular formula. So both cannot have same name. According to IUPAC name, IUPAC nomenclature, both cannot have same name. So there is one more rule, that is you have to give a number before the double bond, before the suffixes, that is before primary suffix or before secondary suffix. So before each suffix you have to give a number. So you have to count. You can count from either end, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can count like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see if you will count from this side, 1, 2, 3. So the third carbon atom is forming the double bond. Now, but if you count from this side, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, the first carbon atom is forming the double bond with second carbon atom. So we have to count from the side from which there is lower number. The number of carbon atom which is forming the double bond should be lower. So from this side, this is the first, and from this side, this is third and fourth carbon atom. So we don't have to count from that side. That will be wrong. What is the right way of counting? The counting should be done from the side from where the carbon atom which is forming double or triple bond, or the carbon atom to which functional group is attached, is lower in number. So it is first carbon atom. So we will count from this side, not from that side. If this double bond would be on that side, suppose if this double bond is on this side and it is like this, then we will count from this side, not from that side, because from this side it is the first carbon atom, from this side it will be third and fourth carbon atom. So therefore we will count from this side now. So what is the name of this compound? So how will we write the name of this compound? First of all, you have to see the number of carbon atoms in parent chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 carbon atoms in the chain, so its name will be bute. Now, after bute, you will see the number. Now, the suffix that we use here, you can see the suffix for double bond. The suffix for double bond is "-ine". But the double bond, you can also write the position of double bond. You have to write the position of double bond. The double bond is between first and second carbon atom. So, because first is the lower in number, so you will write bute 1-ine. What is the name of this compound? Bute 1-ine. So this is how you have to write. You also have to put the number. Here you can also write prop 1-ine. But propene will also always be attached to the first carbon atom. The double bond will always be to the first carbon atom if you count from here or here. So if the double bond is between this and this carbon atom, you will count from here. So again, the first carbon atom is forming the double bond, and if this and this carbon atom form a double bond, then you will count from here. So prop 1-ine, this is bute 1-ine. But what about the name of this compound? So you can see the number 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count from either side. From both the side, the second carbon atom is forming the double bond with third carbon atom. So what will be its name? Bute. And which carbon atom is forming the double bond? Second carbon atom with third. So you will have the smaller number. So its name will be bute 2-ine. So I hope you have understood how to write down the numbers. Bute 1-ine, bute 2-ine. What is the meaning of bute 1-ine? Butene was its name, and 1, bute 1-ine. That means the number 1 is showing the carbon atom to which double bond is attached or which is forming the double bond. Similarly, if there is a compound like this, CH3, then CH, then we have OH, CH2, CH3. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms. So you can count from here 1, 2, 3 and 4. Or you can count from here 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now if you will count from here, so see we have OH here. OH is attached to, if you will count from here, OH is attached to third carbon atom, and if you will count from here, OH is attached to the second carbon atom. And what is the rule? We will count from the side from which the functional group is attached to the lower number of carbon atoms. So from here the OH is attached to third, from here the OH is attached to second. So we cannot have this system. we will count from here. We cannot count from here. So first carbon atom and second carbon atom. So what will be its name? Here we have the functional group also. So what will be its name? Its name will be, first of all, word root, that is but, because there is no prefix, no substituent group. Then after but we have, because there are only single bonds between carbon atoms, so butane, and you can see OH is attached to second carbon atom. So for OH means alcohol. Remember, OH is alcohol. C double bond OH is aldehyde. C double bond O and both side alkyl group is ketone, and C double bond OOH is carboxylic acid. So remember this. Now, because both to the second carbon atom there is alcohol, so what will be the name? What will be the secondary suffix? We have used word root. Primary suffix, we will not use E. If there is secondary suffix, we don't use the word letter E. We can't use the letter E if there is secondary suffix. So its name will be butane, word root, primary suffix, and then secondary suffix. And the secondary suffix for alcohol, for OH, the secondary suffix is all. So its name will be butane all. Now we also have to show the position of OH. So it is butane 2-ol. Remember, butane 2-ol. Its name is butane 2-ol. Now, if OH is attached to this carbon atom, it will be CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2. Suppose OH is attached to the first carbon atom, it will be first, not last, because the counting will be done from the end, from where the functional group is attached to the lower number of carbon atom. So then its name would be butane 1-ol. So butane 1-ol or butane 2-ol, what will be its name? It depends on the OH group to which carbon atom OH is attached. So it will also show the position of OH group. Similarly, there is a compound CH3, CH, Cl, CH3 or CH2, CH3. CH3, CH, Cl. So you can count from here or here. But the substituent group, you also have to see the substituent group. So substituent group, if you will count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you will count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from here substituent group is attached to the second carbon atom, and from here the Cl is attached to the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth carbon atom. So from here you will count from here. So its name will be, now you can see chloro, the chlorine will be in the prefix. It is substituent group, not a functional group. So what is the prefix? So here we will use the prefix. So its name will be chloro. But to which carbon atom that chlorine is attached? That is to second carbon atom. So what will be its name? Its name will be 2-chloro. You have to give the number before the suffix, before the prefix. Primary suffix, secondary suffix, and prefix. Primary suffix if there is double or triple bond, and in secondary suffix, that is if there is a functional group, and also prefix. So you have to give the number. So its name is 2-chloropent. Why pent? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 carbon atoms. So 2-chloropentane. So this is how you can write the names. So I hope you have understood the nomenclature. So these are 2 basic rules for nomenclature. The first rule is to count the number of carbon atoms. Now let's see one more example. If you get confused, let's see one more example. CH3, CH, CH3, CH2 or CH3. Now if you can see here, there is only 3 carbon atoms in the chain, because this is not in chain. If you will count this, then this will be the chain, and now this is not in the chain. So you have to see the longest possible chain. Whatever is the way, the longest possible chain in this case can have only 3 carbon atoms. So 1, 2, 3, or in this way 1, 2, 3. You can use either way. So in this case 1, 2, 3. Now only these 3 carbon atoms are coming in chain. So this carbon atom, this CH3 group is extra. And what is its name? Methyl. So it will be called methyl. Prefix will be used methyl. So the methyl group is attached to the second carbon atom. So its name will be 2-methyl. And how many carbon atoms are there in parent chain? That is 3. So 2-methyl prop, and there are only single bonds. So ane. So its name will be 2-methylpropane. So don't get confused. There are 4 carbon atoms in the compound, but one of these carbon atoms is not in the parent chain, is not in the straight chain. It is in the branch. So they are not in straight chain. This is in the branch. So I hope you have understood how to write the name of these compounds. So you have to remember 2 rules. The first one is the parent chain, rule for parent chain, the longest possible chain, and you cannot count the branches in that chain if there are any branches. In these compounds there were no branches, but in this compound there is a branch. So you have to leave that branch, and if there is a branch of carbon, then that branch will come in prefix. So second rule says the number for substituent, or number for primary suffix, that is double bond, triple bond, or the number for the functional group. So to which carbon atom functional group is attached, to which carbon atom double bond or triple bond is there, or to which carbon atom the substituent group is attached. So you also have to mention that number. And how do we decide that number? We have to count from either side, from this side or from that side, and we have to see that there should be lower number to the carbon atom at which these groups are attached. So this is all in this lecture. If you have any queries, you can ask your questions in comments. Thank you very much.